talk me through the experience of onboarding somebody into this. So they go, they have they come and see the famous orb, which we'll talk about in a bit. It proves that you're a human. What is that whole experience, and why do it that way to onboard people? And how do you get people across the hump of, why am I doing this? And what is this weird stuff that ends up in a wallet? What's a wallet? You know, all of the usual crypto shit we have to go through. Talk me through that whole process, because it's very brave what you did, and you're onboarding a lot of people. We'll talk about that adoption later. But just that whole process of why you did it that way and how you explained it to people.
Yes. So the first thing that's actually very surprising to most people is that the first step is you download an app. It's not you go to an orb. You download an app and you can actually have a world ID and a wallet even without visiting an orb. And so today we have more than 30 million people that have joined the network, and about 15 million of those have verified an orb. That means there's another 15 million people that have joined the network and that are active there, that have simply downloaded the app. They've started using the wallet. They're maybe using mini apps. They maybe have lower levels of world ID verification. And so that's like the first thing. And so the first step on your journey is you get...
They're wallet holders, but they haven't gone through the proof of humanhood yet.
They haven't gone through the proof of human, but there's lower levels of verification you can do. So for example, in some countries, we support the ability for you to tap your phone to an NFC passport, and that gives you a lower level of verification than the orb would. And you can imagine that in the future, there could be other lower levels of verification. And so that is the first step. And for a lot of people, that is how they first get into the ecosystem. They understand what is happening. They check it out. They hear about it from their friends. And now eventually you go, well, I want to be able to use all mini apps, and I want to be able to claim my share of WorldCoin, and I want to be able to prove on Tinder that I'm a human. And so for that, you need to have the human verification. And so you have to visit an orb around you. So you use the app, and the app, just like Uber or Airbnb, like helps you find the nearest orb to you. In some countries, that's on malls. In some countries, that's on the street. In some countries, you can even like press a button and the orb comes to you on like a delivery motorcycle. And so it's like very different depending on where you go to the world. And showing up to the orb is actually the quickest part. We can get into a second of why the orb, but just to talk a bit about the experience it takes like 30 seconds. You stand in front of an orb. The orb looks very fancy, but it's basically just a fancy camera that is able to tell whether you're a real and unique human. So you stand apart from it, basically at the distance that you and I are in for something like 15 seconds. The orb has a little ring light. It goes around, and then it just looks at your face and it does all the checks that you need. Before that, what you did is you actually showed the orb a QR code so that it knows which world ID it's verifying. So when we talk about the technical aspects of all of this later on, that's a very important step, because a lot of people think that world and world ID uses biometrics for identification. That's actually not the case. Your ID is some random private key that lives on your phone, and only that.
So you obviously like this video enough that you've got to the end. That's quite a big task. But listen, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, and also check out what video's next, because I think you'll love it. But if you want even more, and when I'm talking more, I'm talking about member-generated ideas, incredible alpha, research, everything there to help you in your journey, just head to realvision.com/join for the best financial intelligence out there and the pure alpha that's within the platform.